Welcome everyone to this new pick a card reading where we will be talking about blockages today. So blockages to your manifestation, to your highest potential, to your higher goals, your higher dreams, however you want to see it. We will see what comes through as an energy that you need to release yourself from today, because that energy is sneaky and it's trying to sabotage the things you're trying to make happen in your life. Because I truly believe that getting conscious about our weaknesses, about where in our life we are being resistant, or we are slowing ourselves down, basically where we are sabotaging ourselves, is a huge part of what releasing blockages is all about. Because very often a blockage is a blockage of energy because we are unconscious of it, basically. And so it's like that sneaky thief acting behind the scenes of our life. And so I feel like releasing blockages is all about catching that thief, identifying it and catching it. That's what unclogs our channel so that we can enter a flow of life again. If you don't know me yet, it's so nice to meet you. It's so awesome that we could cross paths out of all of the places that you could have ended up on YouTube. My name is Ellie and I've been a professional tarot reader here online, and when I'm not reading full-time, I'm spending time making these videos. So it's great to welcome you in my space today. So if you feel like sometimes your manifestation is not coming through as abundantly, as quickly, as accurately, then you are in the right place today. If you feel like each time you're trying to make something great happen, it's like you keep hitting that wall after wall after wall, then this reading will be great to give you insight as to how to clear that energy out of the way and start from a fresh, clean slate. So if you're ready, grab yourself some food and drinks and I will present you the pile. Welcome to the pile selection, everybody. Now, before I start and present to you the piles, let me put a very important disclaimer out there. So let me remind you all that this is just a general reading, and so it won't resonate with everybody, and that's because this reading was crafted to resonate with the people that it is meant to reach. So don't forget that I'm just a tarot reader and human being just like you, and therefore I have an ego too, you guys. And so this means that my interpretations of the cards today, although they come from my heart to yours and from the best of intentions, they are still not the absolute. So please take in what serves you personally and what resonates and leave behind the rest. So now for the piles today, we have pile 1 over here, followed by pile 2, and then we have pile 3, and finally we have pile 4 over there. So once you have made your choice, head down into the description box down below and click on the timestamp associated with your pile, and this will fast forward the video and take you on your reading. But for now, I will offer a 30-second meditation for those of you that it helps to tune in with the energy of this reading and of each individual pile. So if you're ready for the meditation, please find a comfortable position where you can relax and then ask your spirit team to help you pick the right pile meant for you. And let's start by calling in together the spirits of this sacred space, and let's begin the meditation together. So be careful for your ears, everybody who is wearing headphones. Welcome to your reading, pile 1. Today we are taking a look at the blockage you need to overcome at this time. So the blockage to your manifestation, to your blessings, to your dream, to your goals. So yeah, without further ado, I will start this reading with some manifestation cards over here just to get some insights into the energy that you need to invite in for when it comes to manifestation. And then I will be revealing your tarot cards on top here to see how to overcome the energy holding you back from your higher potential. And then at the end, I'm also going to show some extra oracle cards that you guys have gotten and receive some extra messages at the end for you guys. So let's get started. You guys have received the card of healing, and it says, candle flame, burn this hour, bring to me your healing power. And then we also have creativity. By all above and all below, let me connect, let creativity flow. So I guess that it couldn't be any clearer. I see you amidst a journey of healing your creativity, Pawan. And you know what? Let's talk about creativity a little, because a lot of people have a specific idea about what being a creative soul or creator means. But creativity is needed to just about anything we create in our life, right? Whether that's a problem that we need to solve, any creative problem solving, whether you're looking to build the home of your dreams, or whether you are, just doing your makeup or doing your hair and your outfit, whether you're a content creator, whether you are a business owner, because having a business is creative as hell from A to Z, from how you design your brand to how you market it, and to how you deliver your service or goods, to how you serve people. So at least to me, like having a business, I find that creative as hell. And even tarot reading, like I do personally, like tarot reading is such a creative outlet to me. Because when we do a tarot reading, we use the right side of our brain, just like when we are creating anything. We use the part of our brain that is intuitive, that is imaginative. And that's why I always say that, well, personally, I always say that I am an artist. So being a tarot reader is kind of like being an artist. Tarot is a very creative outlet to me, because it's one thing to know the definition of the cards of, in your mind, but anybody can do that. And it's a whole other complete animal to be able to put those insights into a story and seeing together with the cards, because tarot is not only just about remembering the definition, but it's also about intuitive channeling, because our intuition will lead us in the right direction of the message, whether a card is in its shadow or whether we go in a particular direction with it or another, etc. And a reading is also about using your imagination and creative mind to see a story through the cards. And then it takes a whole lot of creativity and creative storytelling skills to convey that story to the querent in a way that can reach their heart and resonate with what they're going through at the moment. So tarot reading is, well, it can be poetry, and that's how readings take life to me. That's how a reading takes a soul of its own and doesn't just remain flat or one note and just, this generic thing. So tarot has the power to reach and heal people in the same way that an art piece does to me. And it's completely creative, free creative expression to me to do that. And I feel like we have to broaden our meaning of what creativity and being artistic truly is, because I feel like everybody needs creativity to some degree, from the CEO to, the plumber, or to the singer, to the activist even. And I feel like there is a part of you on this reading who might see this creative blockage as something obvious, but then there might be people in here that, that don't really know how this may tie into your current manifestation and problem. But I feel that somewhere upon one, you are blocking your creativity from accessing the dreams, goals, manifestation that you are doing in some way. That this creativity block is what is sort of maintaining you from accessing your full potential right now. And I don't feel like it's completely blocked. I just feel like it's hindered. Like there is almost some sort of static going on with your channel, with your creative channel. And we need to clear that out if you are to see a solution to your problem, or in order to see a more effortless result, so that you don't feel like you are paddling against the current. But for now, keep in mind that creativity is not just what we need to create a work of art, but it's also our creativity that we need to innovate, to get ideas that are out of the box and see solutions that we've never considered before. And that's why I feel that inviting more creativity into your life is what is going to help you find a flow in what you're going through, whether that you are an artist or not, and whether it's in your trade to do that or not. I feel that inviting in and more creativity will be healing for you, and it will be like a teacher for you. It's going to help release your stress or release a certain resistance with the process you are going through. But let's take a look at your tarot cards though and see where this creative block is hitting you from. So we have the Five of Swords reverse. Then the next card that we have is the Ace of Pentacles. Then we have, look at this, we have the Magician. Then we have the Wheel of Fortune reversed. And then finally, we have the Sun. Wow, so yeah, I'm not sure if you're in the middle of creating a project right now. Some of you could be content creators as well, and artistic souls creating on a almost like a daily basis with this Magician here. But there is some sort of result or final product that you're trying to deliver here is what I see with this Eight of Pentacles right over there. There is also this advice with this Five of Swords reverse here to not take on more than you can chew, and to also push away people's different criticism, different opinions, people's different insights, even to push other people's different experiences from that creative process within this Magician here, and to rather rely on your own energy, your own light, your own personality with the Sun here, because that's what the Sun speaks of, to rely more on your own spin or on your own individual self-expression instead of listening to other people that are putting you in self-doubts, basically, with this Five of Swords being reversed. So, ooh, I love that, because I love speaking about creativity. Because, you know, being creative has been the story of my life, and it's funny because it's been a tumultuous relationship, of course. I've done everything, you guys, from drawing to painting, and I love singing, I love playing the guitar and piano. I absolutely love acting. I loved doing drama school, and I was so good at it too. I would even say that acting alongside tarot reading is probably what I master above anything else. But besides that, it's been difficult for me to learn how to perfect and master anything in my life. This is my weakness, I would say. And I tend to spread myself a little bit everywhere and chew more than I can handle sometimes. And especially now, since being a creator is my business, there's also another whole side to it that I need to take care of, right? And sometimes it can lead me to have no energy left for creating more of the things that I want to create just for the sake of it, just for myself. And this is something that I vowed to do more on a regular basis myself. And I guess that I'm sharing that personal story to you guys because that's also what I kind of feel here with your pal. Maybe that some of you need to own your artistic nature and creative side because you have one, and you may have always known that about yourself, actually, with the Sun card and Magician being upright here. But maybe that because you're not always able to direct your creative juice where you want it to go, maybe that because of that, that beats down on how creative you feel sometimes. And maybe when you're overthinking it as well with this Five of Swords reverse, which I guess that a lot of people, including me, can relate to that. And that's when you steal away your own creative power. That's when the burnout starts to happen. And I feel like creative burnout happens when we try to control our creations with this Magician here. And we need to be humbled down a little bit more. So why do I say humbled down? Because I feel that when we try to control our creativity, it's actually because we think that we own what we create. And we think that it's ourself or a part of ourselves. And therefore, it must be as accurate as possible to who we are. And if it's not accurate to that reflection and idea that we have, then we beat ourselves down. And I also feel like this is true for outside of ourselves as well, where creative burnout can also happen when we constantly try to fulfill this idea that our art and our creativity needs to be all quality all the time. But look at how basic this pentacle is right up here. I love how simple all of the aces in tarot look like, because this is about that one seed. This is about the core of the energy we are trying to receive or put out into the world. And this pentacle here is the very first pentacle. It's not yet refined. It's not yet perfect. It's still this very raw seed because it's the starting point. So here with this Ace of Pentacles, we're starting with that one seed that we will put into the ground and that we will nourish with water and with a lot of faith too. Because for a while, before that seed starts to sprout and emerge from the dirt, we won't be able to see the progress that is happening beneath the soil and beneath our feet. And so we can only start to see a result of it if we are patient enough in carrying through with the process until that seed grows and becomes a stem that then grows leaves, and then someday the seed will, with a lot of love and with a lot of grace and patience, will have turned into a tree that shelters life and animals in it, a tree that protects us with shade overhead, and a tree that grows fruit that we can eat and sustain ourselves with. So how beautiful is that? Nature has so much to teach us about the creative process when we take the time to listen and to watch her, because nature creates on a daily basis everywhere and all of the time, and nature doesn't burn out, doesn't it? Because nature doesn't force good shit to happen. Nature is the wheel of fortune. It follows its own cycles, its own rhythms, its own seasons. So it's the same for creativity. And that's what I see with this Wheel of Fortune reverse. You guys need to get into a consistent flow. You guys need to nourish this seed with water so that it can sprout. You guys need to be that water. I always say that if we want to live a more creative life, then we need to learn how to become water. People think that creativity is a spark, and sometimes it is how it's going to start, but most of the time sustainable creativity is more of a flow. It's an ocean. It's water. And so we have to become one with it. You know, the ocean taught me so much in my life, because I don't know if you guys know this about me, but another one of my big passions besides tarot reading is scuba diving and the sea. I just love spending time at the beach and at the sea. I love marine biology, and I just love being one with nature. And I don't know if some of you have surfed before. I actually learned how to surf in Australia for the first time a few years ago, and it was an actual blast. I just ordered some new equipment, by the way, to start doing it back this summer, because I really love surfing. But at first, man, I hated it. I was getting slammed by the waves and my ego was getting beat up, and it was so exhausting to constantly fight the current with my board and get back in the water and try to get myself far enough to catch a wave. But then I found out that I was exhausting myself, was burning myself out, because I was trying to catch every wave. I was trying to get it each time, and that wasn't sustainable for my energy. And I saw those pro surfers. I started to observe them and to watch them do their thing, and they were just floating, you know, with it. They were just chilling with the ocean, just being one with it, just like when I was scuba diving. And once that big wave came, they had more energy to prepare, and so they will catch it. And I feel like it's the same for creativity. Sometimes there are going to be big waves, and it's amazing when it happens and when you can capture it. And it can feel like you are just at the right time at the right spot. But actually, you are using your time to prepare for this moment, to prepare for those waves. You made the surf into a lifestyle. You made creativity into your lifestyle. And when you make it into a lifestyle that you are just chilling with, you're not just waiting for the wave to find you. You are in a constant flow of the ocean and of your creativity, which will go through many tides, many ups and downs, and you just trust that the big waves will come when they are supposed to. It's funny because I was watching this documentary the other day, My Octopus Teacher, which is such a wholesome documentary, by the way. I cried when the octopus died. Hey, this baby looks rough, but she has a tender heart, okay? And in the documentary, they were saying that out of thousands of little baby octopuses, only just a few of them will survive to adulthood. And you know what? I think that it's the same with the creative energy we put out there. If we expect every little idea to sprout into something big, something that will be so complete, so perfect, so mature, so according to the vision, then we exhaust ourselves and we start to resent ourselves. We resent our creativity and the creative process. And when we resent the creative process, we stay away from it and we stop creating. We are constantly meeting these walls of resistance, hit after hit, instead of just relaxing in the water, making one with it. So, you know, if there is something I have learned from it, is that you can't resist water. You can try all you want. You can try to fight it. Water will always find a way to leak in the tightest of spots. Try to put a wall in the water. Try to punch through water or try to hit water. The shock will constantly be absorbed because water is chaotic. It goes where it wants to go. It's in the flow. And that's why we cannot fight our creativity or control it. That's because we do not own our creativity and creations. We're just a vessel of it. That's the humbling lesson of it all. We are just the magician. We are the channel for it to birth through us. So just like a mother doesn't own her child because her child is its own person, right? And its own entity. No matter what she does, the child can decide to become who it wants to be, right? It's the same for creations, art and projects, Spell One. Creativity is this chaos energy, and we're just a channeler and wielder of that chaos. But chaos, at the end of the day, goes where it needs and wants to go. And that's why when you create, you need to trust that you are being the channel for what this energy needs to birth into in that moment. That's why you need to stop being the wall to this process and start to embrace it and become one with it. But let's see what oracle cards you guys have received now, because I find this subject so interesting. While I'm taking my own advice here, it's so good to speak about this topic, right? It's so motivational. But yeah, let's see how you overcome your blocks, Pawan. And we have here the card of labor. Then we have first quarter moon in Libra. Keep your heart open. And then we have first quarter moon in Cancer. Push through any insecurity. Yes, so you are this rod full of ideas with a magician, Pawan, and I see that you need to let yourself produce and express those ideas, those very imperfect, basic ideas, and to let yourself plant seeds like that and see what grows. How often do you just create just for yourself or for the sake of creating? This is interesting because I was talking about that with a client of mine this week, because I'm doing readings full-time, you guys. It's really what I was born to do, but I feel like sometimes we block ourselves because we think that everything that we create or put out there needs to be ready for publish or needs to be ready to show to someone or show publicly. And you know, it's becoming more and more true, this kind of pressure with social medias and everything. But your creations or your art can be just for you too. It can just be something that you channel on the spot with how you felt and where you were at this moment of your life, and you can allow to sit and to brew with it. Then you come back eventually with a new perspective to it. And I know that it's tricky when you are like me and when your hobby is also your business, but that's something that I had to learn too over the last year, which was you need to let yourself put those very basic ideas out on paper, especially if you overthink your creativity with this Five of Swords reversed. You need to free your mind of those simple or average or shitty ideas. You need to free yourself of that from your mind, because otherwise your mind loses all of its energies on it. But if you relax into it and go with it gently, you can become chill with your own self-expression, and that's in this space that you can release the block and the insecurities by, you know, making the random stuff and the stuff that don't really make sense, the lower quality stuff, the stuff you don't need to show anyone else if you don't want to. It can be just for you. And when the big waves will come, they just will. You don't have to force it. And once they come, you will be prepared to catch them, Pawan. Your heart will be open enough to capture them. But let yourself produce those lower quality stuff too. Don't let them live in your mind and torture you with this Five of Swords reverse. Express them, write them down, draw them, conceptualize them with this Ace of Pentacles. Get rid of them in some way by birthing them, like the octopus, right? Release all of those ideas. Let yourself release all of what comes, even the not so good things. Because when you do that, it's getting rid of the blockage. It's getting rid of the anxiety surrounding your creativity. It's getting rid of those ideas that you don't need anyway. And this leaves room for your really, really, really good creations and ideas. It leaves room for the sun to shine. It creates room for the big hits and the big illuminations to happen. So that's how I see you rid yourself of this blockage, Pawan. Stop waiting for the waves, or stop forcing the big waves to come. Just get in the ocean. Let yourself flow with it and chill with it. Just relax into it and see this process draining all of the overstimulation you don't need with this Five of Swords reverse, which will leave room for you to develop a better relationship with your creativity and your self-expression with the sun over there. So I hope that this reading could be a balm of sunshine and warmth on your heart, you guys. I wish you so much fun with it. If you have some tips and tricks on creative blocks that you can think about for your fellow Pawans, make sure to leave it down below in the comments, because we can all teach each other. And thank you so much for having spent this time with me. And for those of you who wonder, yes, I do offer personal online readings. You guys can check out my store in the description box down below. And otherwise, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, you guys. Welcome to your reading pile 2. So today we are taking a look at the blockage you need to overcome at this time. The blockage to your manifestation, to your blessings, to your dreams, to your greatness. So without further ado, I will start this reading with some manifestation cards up here at the bottom, just to get some insights into the energy that you need to invite in for when it comes to manifestation. And then I will be revealing your tarot cards up here to see how to overcome the energy holding you back from your higher potential. And then at the end, I'm also going to show the extra oracle cards that you guys have received for some extra messages at the end about all of that. But yeah, let's get started. You guys have received the card of knowledge, and it says, let me connect above and below. Let the knowledge of ancestors flow. And then we also have the card of confidence. that says, by earth and air, water and fire, let my confidence take light, burn higher. Ooh, I love that incantation. It inspires me. Interesting combination of energy. Pile 2, I feel like you know enough, or have enough knowledge under your belt, or have enough experience, enough competence and skills, and that now it's more so about building a confidence in you to validate the journey you're going through, building confidence in what you do and in what you can make happen. So some of you could be trying to manifest some sort of support or some sort of guidance, direction, confirmation maybe, or trying to conjure up some sort of approval and validation, but it's about finding that validation and confirmation within yourself now, I feel, and just doing it. I feel that, okay, this sounds funny, but I feel like sometimes you can be one of those people that are too intelligent for their own good. You know how some people are so smart and so genius and they know a lot about what they're talking about, so much so that it becomes their own block sometimes when it comes to allowing themselves to trust into their skills and trust into their ideas and their own opinion. Kind of like so much people study music and the theory of music, right? But sometimes knowing too much is their blockage for when it comes to sitting down and just relaxing into it and just jamming or composing a piece and allowing themselves to just play something or produce something just for the heck of it. It's kind of like that. I feel that you are someone that has a lot of education or has amassed a lot of theory and practical advice maybe with this kind of knowledge here, but your blockage seems more so in applying that knowledge confidently into your life, having more faith in yourself, as well as taking on your own advice more as well with this kind of confidence here. It makes me think of some people that I know that are unable to leave school because they need to get that paper or they need that class just to make sure that they know enough. And sometimes sometimes it's needed. Sometimes that official paper is what you need to back down your legitimacy, your expertise, and, tell you that you are indeed ready to become the practitioner or the mentor or the expert. After all, you want your doctor to be certified, right? You don't want just anybody that claims to be a doctor to be operating you. Trust me. But sometimes I feel that in certain cases, certain specific cases, seeking that paper for some people can be a way to get that external validation that they are ready, and then they finish a class and they take another and another and another, and it's like they never know enough, or they are never ready enough, or never prepared enough. So what I mean when I say that it seems like you're too smart for your own good, Paltu, is that you could be seeking tangible evidence in the world around you that you're doing a good job, so much so that you could not be cultivating that inner confidence and faith enough, that spiritual foundation that is supposed to carry you with and alongside your knowledge foundation. So that's kind of what I'm getting here somehow with your energy. It's almost as though you fear not being good enough or not being certified enough, nor not competent enough for something that you are capable of doing. And so, or maybe that you are afraid to not have enough experience, but everybody has got to start somewhere, right? And so what I'm getting here is that you've thought about the plan enough, you're prepared enough, you know what you need to know, and you have the confirmation you need. And it's time to step up and to place more confidence in yourself and in your own competence and skills more. It's also time for your confidence to meet your educational level for some of you, especially if you are the kind of person that gets overworked and underpaid, especially if you are used to constantly over-deliver for what you're getting back and for the knowledge that you have accumulated and have to give that is worth something. If you are often that one person that has difficulty to put a price or worth on your skills, on your talent, the knowledge that you have, but yeah, don't be too smart for your own good. That's a funny message. Don't be so smart that you have no energy left to put in your confidence and in your faith, or in the confidence and the faith that you have within the universe too, to help you. That's the thing I'm hearing here as a message for you. It's quite unique. Let's see what tarot cards you guys have received. What is this blockage all about? So we have the Two of Wands, and followed by the King of Wands reversed. Then we have the Seven of Pentacles, the Five of Cups, the final tarot card is the the Eight of Wands reversed. Yeah, with this Two of Wands and the Eight of Wands reversed, you are stopping your own self somewhere and keeping yourself stagnant. Pile 2, maybe that you are overthinking, overdoing, overprocessing with this Two of Wands, and maybe that this tends to paralyze you for when it comes to getting into action, getting into motion, or getting things started with this Eight of Wands reverse. It's almost as though you are over-checking the plan with the Two of Wands and the Seven of Pentacles, or over-stressing over the results, so much so that your King of Wands gets smacked, it gets squashed. That King of Wands is the part of you that is bold, confident, risk-taking, outgoing. So this card links in with the message about your confidence again. It's almost like you could be stressing too much, maybe that there are deadlines that you are asked to meet as well, or expectations that you're supposed to meet because of this Seven of Pentacles here that follows it. And this stress of making sure that you have every step figured out leads you to forget and accept that mistakes are going to happen. And it's normal. Things are not meant to go according to plan perfectly here. So how boring is that anyways, right? I personally prefer to be surprised. Having a plan is only like that reassuring seatbelt. It makes you feel safe, but it won't necessarily prevent accidents, if you see what I mean. So the plan is your direction, the plan is your purpose, it's the intention, it's your conviction, but it should never be your instructions. So you guys have a perfectionistic side that is debilitating, because I see with the Two of Wands and the Eight of Wands reversed, the Five of Cups, and a Seven of Pentacles too, you know, that your blockage was born out of anxiety and self-doubt. Pile 2, I feel like sometimes you can even worry about certain things that haven't even happened yet. Like you can sometimes anticipate problems, things falling through with this Five of Cups here, deception, failure, before you could even give yourself a chance. So this is seeing the glass half empty instead of half full with a Five of Cups, which leads you to kill your ideas and your dreams very fast. And I also want to say, pal, too, do you tend to expect of yourself to get things very fast? Like when you start something, do you tend to beat yourself down when you see that you are not good enough or picking things quickly enough? I feel that you are demanding of yourself a lot very quickly, and it's not always very realistic for you. So let me just say that perfection is like chasing something that doesn't exist. It's a recipe to build even more procrastination. That's why it's so freaking draining. It's a mask that we wear when we are afraid of failure or of rejection. And when we operate from that place of fear, it will always be hard to meet that bar to where we can be satisfied and proud with ourselves. I feel that this is is your own relationship to perfectionism that tends to trap you in inaction sometimes, in procrastination or paralysis with this Eight of Wands reverse, to where you become idle and nothing happens, and all that you do is build frustration and impatience with yourself with this King of Wands reversed. Within yourself, since you're not going anywhere. That's quite a tedious blockage, because when that happens, you tend to lose sight of your direction and purpose with this Two of Wands here. It's like the purpose gets replaced by frustrations. And so if you're telling yourself, I've got to wait for a bit more information, I've got to wait till my skills are better, I've got to wait until I know what everybody else is doing, things like that. Well, it seems like your Divine Masculine with this King of Wands reverse is coming through here. All right. And he is coming through as this strong figure that is asking you, at one point, will you gather everything that you know? At what point will you gather all of that knowledge, all of that experience that you have, all of the great advice you've gathered, and put it into action and integrate it into the world, into your practice, your routine, your life? The thing is, are you applying anything that you have learned, Pile 2? And are you also leaving yourself the room to take on your own advice through that? I feel that this is about feeling it, Pile 2. This is less so about diving into the theory of it, and it's more so about feeling into the path that you are walking into, because that's what the wands speak about. Wands speak of the vision that is talking to your spirit and allowing that vision to take over your movements and actions so that it becomes natural. So it's not so about the planning and the structure, because you have that together with this Two of Wands here, but it's more so about getting started, getting into motion. It's funny because I feel that Pile 1 would really benefit from this reading in Pile 2, and you guys, my Pile 2, will also really benefit from the messages in Pile 1. So I absolutely encourage you to watch that Pile after this reading here, because I go so profound. But for you, Pile 2, it's interesting because I think that you can put so much time into watching or listening to maybe some motivational content, or maybe absorbing other people's experience, other people's advice, other people's methods, that you could be forgetting about your own intuition sometimes. And then when you try to make someone else's potion, it's like you lose your inspiration along the way, or you lose your motivation when that recipe doesn't turn out the same way that it did for that other person you saw it worked for, with this Two of Wands and Seven of Pentacles here. But following the plan so much can make you lose touch with your own magic. It can make you lose touch with your own intuitive insights, and what you feel in the moment will be better suited for what you're trying to do, basically for the result you're trying to get. It's almost as though your message is to not lean so much on the theoretical aspect of it and on the formula, that you forget to listen to you. There we go. That's the message here. Don't lean on who you see as an expert because they seem to know more than you do, or have more experience, or are better at something than you are, or because you see them having the success that you wish you could have, that you forget about your own opinion, your own touch, your own greatness. And I know that this sounds like a simple advice, but I feel that there are certain things in life where people can talk to us about it as much as they want, and it's still something that we have to experience firsthand, if you see what I mean, which is something that I've talked about in my last video about death on the channel, where I said that there are these experiences in life that has so much that as much as we read about them, or as much as we absorb someone else's story, someone else's wisdom and knowledge about these experiences, it's like it will never compare and never resonate as true, as real as when we experience them ourselves. So that's why it's important to make your own experiences and your own understanding of things sometimes, especially if you keep watching or listening to people that are talking to you about starting that thing that you really want to start, for example, but never start yourself. If you do that, then that's like watching your dreams from a distance or looking at someone else living your dream while you deprive yourself from it. And when you do that, you forget that there's something unique and different about you. So I feel that there is a mirage here about waiting until the conditions are perfect or waiting until you have it all figured out perfectly before you can take action. But while you are waiting for that information or waiting until you have mastered your skills or waiting for these skills that you feel you don't have yet but should have, you know, while you are waiting for all of these T's to be crossed and these I's to be dotted, you are disarming yourself, Pile 2, with this King of Wands reverse here. You are disempowering yourself, is what the King of Wands reverse is saying. While you could be looking at the things you already have at your disposal, that you might be taking for granted. And I love the King of Wands because a lot of people tend to underestimate him or think of him like this bullish guy that just does things and thinks later. But the King of Wands became king. He sits on the fucking throne of his power, and so he has wisdom to share too. And his wisdom is that sometimes the right or best thing to do is not always the logical answer. Sometimes the right and best thing to do is what you have to do to move forward, to just stay in the game of the chessboard of life. Sometimes that move needs to be instinctual. And so even if it doesn't make much sense for now and you're not able to visualize the whole picture of it, doesn't mean that it won't take its senses later in a final outcome. So let's take a look at your Oracle cards now, Pile 2, because I want to get some more messages for you about how to overcome your current blockages. And we have here the card of Toxic. Then we have Full Moon and Scorpio, Breathe Through the Tension. And finally, we have First Quarter Moon and Virgo, Assess the Situation. So that's funny because we have the card of Toxic combined with the energy of Scorpio, which Scorpios can definitely be poisonous. Scorpios, though, are really the big investigators of the zodiac. They can see beneath the picture and into the abyss of it like nobody else can. And we also have Virgo energy here being present, which Virgo is the big analyst. Virgo also has that relationship to perfection, which can be so exhausting for them. And you know, we were just talking about perfectionism. So yeah, there's a toxic mentality or toxic pattern that you are working on overcoming, Pile 2. And that's your blockage right here. Where are you investigating or searching deep for flaws, imperfections, weaknesses, deficiency? Because if you keep searching for it, you're going to find it. That's what the Five of Cups is talking about all day, every day, because sometimes we can focus so much on the cups that are fallen here that we can forget about the cups that we are filling up. Look at that. That person here is filling up this cup over there with their own tears. Sometimes we can focus on the bad so much that we forget about all of the good that is still there available all around us, right? And if we were to simply turn around and notice these filled cups, we will be able to enjoy them. So where are you building tension and raising the bar for yourself so high that you can't reach it? Some of you definitely might be fighting some sort of deadline here. I don't know why, but I keep feeling that, almost as though time or timing is of essence. Maybe that you keep pushing things for later as well until the last minute too. So maybe that this is why you tend to build up stress in your system when you do that. So it could be why I'm feeling this way. But there is this impression of time catching up on you here. I feel with the tension and with assess the situation and with this Eight of Wands reversed. But while you assess the situation and think of all of the ways it could turn out wrong, it's like the next day you look back and you're like, damn, I didn't even do what I had set with myself to do. But little steps found you. If you tend to get overwhelmed, little steps is the key here. That's what I see as important with the Seven of Pentacles in the middle of your reading. One day at a time, one moment at a time, one piece at a time. I feel like it's not about going full speed for you, but it's rather about pacing yourself with the Seven of Pentacles and Eight of Wands being reversed. It's about what you decide to cultivate, because the more time that you spend in procrastination or stagnancy, the more you cultivate procrastination and stagnancy. The Seven of Pentacles, it speaks about which seed you decide to water and tend to on a regular basis, which seed you decide to go back to every day, because that's what will grow your life. That's what will grow your future and your reality. So if there is something that you want in your life, then you need to make it into a commitment to water that seed every day. If this is love that you wish to manifest, then you need to water that seed of inner self-love and outer love in your already existing relationships every day. If you wish to manifest a type of career, then you need to water the lifestyle of it every day. You need to immerse yourself into it every day and make it your lifestyle. Make this thing your garden. So there is something growing in your life right now, whether you realize it or not about to. And when you don't act upon a plan or a promise that you had set with yourself, that's the energy that is getting fed and that is growing in your life. You are feeding into the toxicity. You want so bad to be looking backward and be like, wow, I freaking did it. Even the tiniest of accomplishment can bring you this feeling, because let me just say that you are amidst a battle of will right now within your own self. That's what I see now with this card of confidence, King of Wands reverse, and this energy of Scorpio. You're right, Scorpio is psychological warfare. So that's a battle of will within yourself. And if you have plans to do something with this Two of Wands, but deceive your own self by not showing up with this Five of Cups and this Eight of Wands reverse, then that's like reinforcing this statement that your plan is detached from your reality, that it's not part of your lifestyle and therefore not a part of yourself yet. Because although your hopes for yourself are high, it's like you can't live up to them. And that's like another attack on your self-esteem each time. So for you, Baltu, I will try to stay away from too long breaks in between your plans. And I will also stay away from planning your things too late in the day. If there's something you've got to do or want to do, then you need to put it in your schedule first thing in the morning. Don't underestimate the power in how we use our mornings. Trust me, what you do in the morning sets the entire tone of your day. It sets the mood in which you will have breakfast. It sets the pace from which you will move throughout your day. That's how you turn feeling bad and guilty about not having done the things you wanted to done into a small victory. And like I always say, those small victories are so important. You need to let yourself earn them and have them when they are due, because those small victories, they are your motivation. They are your confirmation that you are on the right track. But if you don't give them to yourself, how can you expect to stay motivated? I know I can't. So yeah, that's how you defeat your blockage, Baltu. You defeat it by stopping yourself each time you feed into it. You defeat the beast by weakening it, by starving it each moment and each day. So I hope that this advice helps. If you have some tips and tricks for procrastination that you think that will benefit your fellow Baltus, make sure to leave them down in the comment section down below, because I think that we can all teach each other something valuable today. And I want to thank you so much for spending this time of your day with me, you guys. And for those of you who are wondering, I do offer personal online readings. You guys can check out my store in the description box down below. And subscribe to the channel because I would love you to benefit from the next pick a card if you really enjoyed this one. And I hope to see you soon in the next video. Bye bye, you guys. Welcome to your reading pile 3. Today we are taking a look at the blockage you need to overcome. So the blockage to your manifestation, to your blessings, to your dreams, to your highest potential. So yeah, without further ado, I will start the reading with some manifestation cards just to get some insights into the energy that you need to invite in for when it comes to manifestation. And then I will be revealing your tarot cards up here to see how to overcome the energy holding you back from embracing more of your own greatness. And then at the end, I'm also going to show some extra oracle cards that you guys have gotten to get some extra messages at the end about that. So let's get started. You guys have received, ooh, true love come to me. And this card says, true love shall come to me. As I do will, so mote it be. And we also have, wow, the card of passion. And this card says, rise passion, rise up high, inflame my purpose, reach the sky. So man, you guys are in a magenta and pink here. All right, so your path seems already to be quite straightforward. My pile 3, you could have been feeling like you keep attracting the wrong kind of people into your life. And I'm not only talking about romantic stuff here, because I feel that for some of you, that's about people you have in your vicinity in general. So you may feel like you keep attracting the wrong type of friends, the wrong type of friend circle, the wrong type of work environment, the wrong type of intimate relationships as well. And then there is even a part of you that I feel you could have been born in the wrong family as well, or maybe thought that to yourself at some point in your life, like maybe that you don't identify with a community you grew up in, something like that. Pile 3, you guys need to be really selective with the people that you allow into your life, because I feel that as much as people can be that force that will propel you forward when it's healthy, sometimes people can also become your blockage at other times, especially when you enmesh yourself with them and their life, and it becomes all about you being immersed in that person's life, but that other person never visiting your world, if that makes sense. You know how some people become their partner? It kind of feels like that a little. Maybe that some people on this reading as well aren't even able to say that you've perhaps experienced true love in your life, like true deep bond and intimacy, someone that will take you on that emotional trip. And I find it interesting though that this card of passion is right next to the card of one true love, because sometimes people think that true love is a love that is passionate. That true love is a burning hot type of love. That true love should feel like this big risk where you're always putting your heart on the line and are just so consumed in a sea of emotions. A lot of people mistake love for passion. Actually, they expect someone else to keep them on their toes and to be the one that will be giving them that rush of adrenaline that makes them feel alive. It's like a drug, right? And when you feel passion, it's like that kick of adrenaline and what's it called? Dopamine, I guess. Please don't latch at me. It's that chemical reaction in your brain, let's put it this way. But yeah, I feel like a lot of people mistake true love for passion and vice versa. And that's also how people set that intention with themselves and with the universe, and will attract towards themselves emotionally tumultuous relationships, emotionally unstable relationships, so that you can feel like you're walking on that line, right? And that's how people will sometimes attract toward themselves dangerous souls that will make them feel like like they are dancing on that roller coaster emotionally. And for sure, I mean, you know, ask anybody that does extreme sports. When you are dancing with death, there's always going to be that feeling of coming alive, right? So for sure, any kind of burning hot love like that is going to feel like, damn, I am not numb here. I'm feeling something so profound here. And a lot of people put themselves into dangerous situations in order to feel that passion. But is it healthy though? That's the question. That's something that I've talked about before on the channel. And this is something that I always say, but passion is really just a feeling, right? We can't rely on it to be the meter of love because, like all feelings, passion just comes and it goes. So expecting passion to remain in your relationship is like expecting of yourself to be constantly in this happy space, right? On a constant high on life. But emotions, they come and they go. And true love does the same. True love morphs. True love is boundless. True love is a lot more bigger, a lot more wider than that passion can ever contain. So what I'm seeing here is that for some of you guys, while some of you guys have been perhaps wanting to manifest more passion into your life, maybe that your relationships have been that vessel for passion for you. And maybe that your relationships, for some of you, have been feeling emotionally empty, or maybe a bit too cold, maybe even vacant. Maybe that you worry that you are going to get bored or dissatisfied or lose interest if things were to become a little bit more predictable or more stable in your life. And maybe not just in your relationships, but also in your social interactions in general. And maybe even in other spheres of your life, like work or at school. So maybe that you are just looking to feel something again, to be able to attach your heart to something again. And then I also feel that there are some of you on this reading, it's not the majority, but only a portion of you. And I see that you conjure up that passion through people most of the time, like I was kind of saying earlier, through how your relationships make you feel. And that's why some of you could never stay single for too long, if you see what I mean. Like maybe that you get out of a relationship and then get into another one, but pile 3, there is another way for you to get that passion and that heart palpitation, that high on life that you tend to get inside relationships or with other people in a way that won't rely on someone else giving it to you. That's what I mean to say. Oh, so that came out like it needed to come out, I guess. So yeah, let's take a look at your tarot cards because I want to see what the blockage in your life is. This could go any directions, but yeah, some of you could be looking to manifest people into your life or just experiences that your heart and emotions could get attached to. So let's see what's up with you guys. So we are starting with the 3 of Cups reversed. Next up, we have the 5 of Pentacles. Then we have the Ace of Wands. Yep. It's that spark of passion that I was talking about with this card, with the Ace of Wands. Then we have the 5 of Wands. And finally, we have the Star. Look at how gorgeous that Star card is. I believe this is probably one of my favorite Star card ever. So, yep, there we go. I love how Tower will just give me that clear direction to go on, whereas Oracle cards sometimes are so big and vague for me. But this speaks about reviving your relationships with the 3 of Cups being reversed and the Star and this Ace of Wands here. So for some of you, this is about healing from any sort of relationships as well that became too difficult with this Five of Wands, too painful, that leave you in constant need for healing and support. With a Five of Pentacles and a Star, relationships and especially friendships with this Three of Cups reverse that keep letting you feel like you are the only one that makes the effort constantly. I see you healing yourself from those relationships where you kept giving so much, where you were extending yourself to be of support to others, and to where those people pulled your attention away from yourself or from your purpose with this Ace of Wands. So maybe that you would always come last. Those kinds of relationships that keep asking with the Five of Pentacles and Five of Wands but aren't giving, if they are anywhere in your proximity, pile 3, they are the blockage. They are that source depleting you of your internal flame. That internal flame is a fragile spark with this Ace of Wands. It's like a candle that you need to scoop your hand around it to make sure that other people's energy and drama and problems don't snuff it away. So this candle is the flame of your spirit that is dimmed down when you're around those people. And I feel like for some of you, some of you have been afraid that if you were to walk away from relationships like that, then maybe you will end up alone in the cold, kind of like in a Five of Pentacles situation, like without any support, or that you will then be fragile, be feeling worthless, be feeling unlovable. But any sort of codependent relationship cannot exist in a bright future that you are walking into, pile 3, is what I see with the Star and this Ace of Wands here. Some of you are truly worried about ending up alone in your life or all by yourself to do something. But pile 3, if you are waiting for someone or waiting for someone else to be on board or to do something with you, that's what I mean by codependency. If there is something that you truly want to change or do, then you need to do it. And to stop waiting for other people in your life, you need to stop relying on people so much to give you that nourishment that you need, that support that you crave. That emotional bond that you so deeply want to feel. I want you to know that you can have all of that with yourself. And listen, okay? Because I know that we are all social creatures, all right? And that's something that I say often too. It's normal to want people to be around sometimes and to crave intimacy with others. Okay, I know that in the spiritual community, we tend to really put on a pedestal being good, being on our own, but you know, us humans, we need relationships, we need close bonds. But I also feel that a normal life is also filled with these empty holes where sometimes stuff is going to happen, life is going to happen, and people will just naturally go their own way, or people will naturally grow apart and separate and go their own way. And I feel that those holes where nothing is happening much socially in our life, where we feel like we have to make new friends or we feel like we're single, these are turning points. These are transitional phases. These empty spots are opportunities to reconnect with ourselves and with our energy when no one else is around to taint it or influence it in a direction or another. And so these empty holes, I consider them to be so normal and so valuable. I don't consider them to be an abnormality. So, you know, and I don't know why we don't normalize them. I don't think that it's normal to constantly have a ton of friends all around you and to constantly be surrounded with people or have people to hang out with. If you are someone that evolves and change on a regular basis, then your social circle is going to follow those tides too. And some relationships that are meant to stay will follow you, and other ones will not survive this process. But don't you think for a second, though, that because you have been without friends for a while, or because you've been without a partner for a while, or because you've lost your friend group recently, that it's not normal and that you absolutely have to find other people right now to fill up that hole? I feel that you need that empty, vacant space, pile 3. You you need that space to reconnect yourself to who you are and to the new version of you now that those people aren't around anymore. You have to reconnect yourself to your life, to your hobbies, to what makes you come alive when you are dancing alone under the rain. And that's something that, as an Aquarius, I feel like I can teach other people, because to me, it's so easy to do that. Like, it never made much sense to pursue relationships, I guess. I definitely understand that it's other people's mission, though, to lean, to learn through relationships or lean on relationships. But people often ask me, why is it that I do so well on my own? And they think that it's because I'm aloof. And although it's true to a certain degree that romantic relationships have never been a focus at all in my life, it just sort of happens to me, right? When I have a partner, it's because, I've developed a friendship with them, and it just happened organically. But I feel that a part of that is actually because I'm someone that value friendship on an equal pedestal as romantic relationships, because actually I have a big story with toxic relationships, you guys, with emotionally and psychologically abusive relationships. I have a huge history with partners that had addiction problems. And you know what? These relationships taught me that I could get that intimacy and passionate relationships elsewhere in my life, not just in romance, but also in friendship, or with a pet, or in other types of connections that were also available all around me. And my best friend, for instance, she was the person that was always acceptant of me, and always picking up the pieces as I went through these difficult, toxic relationships. And she never tried to change me. She always understood me, and she picked me up during those darkest times of my romantic life. And that's where I understood that, wow, I know what unconditional love means now, because I've got it with her. And so there is that. So the most unconditionally loving relationships of my life have been all types of relationships, and they taught me that true love indeed existed, just not in the format of someone you have sex with, right? Just not always in the form that we would expect them to be, right? But also, romantic relationships have never been a focus, because I'm someone that also doesn't want to be waiting on others to offer me a blast in life, you guys. That's why I'm not someone that dates ever. I've never been on dating apps or things like that, because I am love, and love finds itself attracted to me. So I see it as the opposite. How can my life be so fun and so fulfilling that even if I'm alone, or without a relationship, or without external support, or without any friends, I'm still having the rave of my life. I'm still having the time of my life, so that I can be in a space where I am okay if it happens, and I'm still okay if it doesn't. So I'm always turning those thoughts and fears about being left alone into thinking about how I can set up my life instead, so that when I am going to end up alone in these empty holes that I was talking about, which is going to happen from time to time, my personal dreams and my personal life doesn't leave with a person that is leaving my life, so that I can continue to live. And it's not to be pessimistic, it's just to be realistic, because I've been there before. It happened to me multiple times before. I've been abandoned, I've been rejected, I've been let down and deceived multiple times before. And so that's why I'm not relying on anyone else to fulfill me anymore, because I know how it can get toxic to expect someone else to fill your cup or fill the hole in your life. And that's how I also personally view it for when it comes to having children too, by the way, because I've been spending so much time being on the fence about this, but I am in a space now where I am okay if it happens someday. And I'm also thinking about preparing myself to be okay if something happens and that makes it so I don't have children or can't have children, like many women. And I feel like other people are so much outside of our own influence that it serves no one to fall in excessive worry about making sure we don't end up being alone, because in our society, this is such a pinnacle of success that is viewed like the ultimate sign that you are a good person or that you're living a fulfilled life somehow. And I don't agree with that. It's not how I want to live my life. It's like, if you're happy alone, it's still a bit taboo, or people feel a bit skeptical, or people feel a bit sorry for you. And it's like they don't believe in self-fulfillment. But I feel like it's because the marketing, all of the marketing, all of the medias are all concentrating and benefiting from that social fear that we have, us humans, the fear of dying alone. And I feel that this fear of dying alone is a big subconscious motivator and big subconscious trigger as to how people keep chasing shared happiness and shared lives. Why people chase love and relationships at all costs and will remain sometimes in toxic relationships for longer than they should. And that's how love can quickly become an asset into people's lives. But when love is an asset, that's called conditional love. It's like, I love you if you are in a relationship with me. I love you if you can give this or that to my life or add this or that to my life. That's conditional love, baby. And I realized in my own life that I wanted none of that. Not even in my romantic relationships. That's why I don't believe that we should be in a relationship just because we love someone or are attracted to someone. I feel that us humans, we are programmed to love anyway, and it's against our own nature to resist them. So we are going to love so many people throughout our existence. And does it mean that we have to be in a romantic relationship with every single one of them? No, because just because you love someone unconditionally doesn't mean they are healthy for you. And surely doesn't mean that you will do well sharing your life with them and that you can allow them to breach your boundaries. So romantic partnerships, at least to me, is a choice that needs to go beyond love. It needs to take into factor other things than just loving, adoring, and being attracted to another person. It also needs to be healthy, right? But yeah, Spirit is almost trying to purposefully isolate you with this Three of Wands this Three of Cups reversed. Sorry about 3. Yeah, it's so weird because I feel like you're being purposefully isolated right now so that you realize that you are that party, that you are that friend, that you are that partner, that fun you are looking for and waiting for other people to give you. So how can you make your life such a blast, Pile 3, that you even forget about the fact that you are single or that you don't have anybody to go to the theater with right now? Are you depriving yourself from fun, from adventure, from excitement just because you don't have someone else to share it with? With this Ace of Wands, here, know that you can live the most thrilling, the most exciting relationship with yourself. Know that you are that flame that you seek in the world. You are that fire. You are that passion. You are the biggest love of your life. And I don't think that any healthy relationship will ever ask you to go in front of that primary love of your life that is yourself. And if it does, then that's conditional love and it's codependent as hell. I'm sorry, but I'm just telling it straight, all right? I'm not wishy-washy. That's not something that you want to be around at all. So it's funny because the Three of Cups is normally a card that represents a party, a celebration where everybody is coming together with their own cup, with their own personality, and they're just celebrated for who they are and for their journey. But to see this card reversed, though, to me, that's a solid reminder that you are the party you have been looking for. pile 3. You have to have that blast with yourself first, and you need to learn how to make your life interesting unto its own, so that people who are naturally of the same frequency than you find themselves drawn to you organically. So go out there and go freaking mountain biking, go do that painting class you've always wanted to follow, try that new restaurant at the corner of the street, invite yourself to a movie you want to see, date yourself, befriend yourself. That's how you draw new friends and the right life partner towards you. And trust me, it will happen effortlessly and organically if you do that. You won't have to force anything. You won't have to lift a finger. If you're having fun with yourself, it will feel like no time has passed once you meet that new circle or once you meet that next person. But this empty social life that you are experiencing all of a sudden, that feels so quiet and so lonely, it's not abnormal. It's there for a reason. It's there for you to capture it. It's there for you to find back the truest love of your life that exists. The love you have for yourself and for life itself. And this is a kind of love that nobody can give you. This is a type of love that nobody can take away from you. That's what's so magical about it. And when you find it, it's the best feeling ever, because you also realize that it's there. It was there before, and it will always be there for you when nobody else is around. But let's see the oracle cards that you guys have received. So we have here the card of release. Then we have last quarter moon in Aries, work through your feelings. And finally we have full moon in Leo, go wild. Yeah, exactly. You need to wash your hands from this feeling of having been abandoned, or of having no one to share your joy and your happiness with. With this kind of work through your feeling and go wild here, I'm getting connect to that fire within. Connect to that flame and passion from within, because you're already full of it, pile 3, and that is enough on its own to give you the most thrilling, fulfilling, the most beautiful existence. Loving yourself and befriending yourself is what makes this life full and an endless well of love. So release this idea, all right? Release this idea that other people will fill up that empty hole for you that you feel in your heart, because it's a mirage. And that's a blockage to not only having a better relationship with yourself, but it's also the blockage towards attracting people that are more of your own nature. Because then if you are looking for love, looking for friendship, looking for people, you will be willing to accept less than what you truly deserve, with this 5 of Pentacles and 5 of Wands here. It's kind of like when we are desperate for a job, right? We will take anything. Well, it's the same for friendships and partnerships. If we are so desperate for them, and if we feel like this is what we are lacking to make our life exciting, then we will be ready to accept anything just to not be alone. And we are reinforcing this belief in ourselves that we are not good enough on our own, that our life is not beautiful, fulfilling, and thrilling enough onto its own. But let me tell you, pile 3, that there are people out there whose sole agenda is to convince you that your life is not full on its own, that you need someone else to share your happiness with, that you need a partner, that you need children, a car, a house, a trip to freaking Hawaii, whatever it is, to make life more exciting. But you don't need anything for your life to be a blast. You don't need to do anything. Life is already that. It can give you so much more than that if you allow it. So work through your feelings, all right? And really ask yourself, what is it that you truly seek here underneath that whole facade there? Will it really fulfill your heart the way you think it will to find another person? Because sure, it's fun. Having a friend is fun. Having a romantic partner is fun. Having that mansion can be fun. But does it give your life real substance? Not really. because there is so much more to life. And that is up to you. That is your job, to give your life depth, excitement, substance, content, fulfillment. Other people will not be able to give you that. Other people are just a reflection of the love and passion that was always there, available to you when these people weren't there. They are just a reminder of this love and passion that is already available inside of you, in and out of relationships. So remember that, pile 3. Very important. So I hope that you found something in there that could launch that deeper self-introspection that you needed. And if you have some tips and tricks for your fellow pile 3s that could be struggling with loneliness at this time, make sure to leave it down below in the comment, because I think that we can all teach each other something valuable. But pile 3, thank you so much for having spent this time with me though. And for those of you who are wondering, yes, I do offer personal online readings, so you guys can check out my store in the description box down below, and otherwise subscribe to the channel, because I would love you to benefit from the next pick a card if you enjoyed this one. And I hope to see you soon in the next video. Bye guys. Welcome pile 4. Today we are taking a look at the blockage that you need to overcome. The blockage to your manifestation, to your blessings, to your dreams, to your highest potential, however you want to see it. So yeah, without further ado, I will start this reading with some oracle cards here, manifestation oracle cards, just to get some insights into the energy that you need to invite in for when it comes to manifestation. And then I will be revealing your tower cards on top here to see how to overcome the energy holding you back from embracing more of your own greatness. And then at the end, I'm also going to show the extra oracle cards that I have set on the side for you, and we are going to reveal some extra messages at the end about all of that. So let's get started. We are starting with a card of sensuality. And this card says, your freedom flowing from far away. I dance, I love, I laugh, I play. I love it. And then we have the card of good cheer. And this one says, with kind heart and humor free, may good cheer rule, so mote it be. So the first thing that came to my mind for you, pile 4, with these cards is 5th house energy, like a lack of 5th house energy, which the 5th house to me is all about joy, happiness, fun, pleasure, passion for life. It's where we are youthful, and also where we find our love for living, because it gives us something to feel excited about and something that will make our time here more enjoyable. It's where we dance, love, laugh, like what this card of sensuality is saying here. So since this is the energy that I'm seeing you trying to conjure up in your life, trying to manifest in your life, I wonder if something have been feeling like an empty void for you, pile 4. If something in your life makes you feel numb, or if your life makes you feel like you didn't have joy in a long time, like it's difficult to feel satisfied or to enjoy yourself for an extended amount of time. And to me, this feels like numbness, especially with this card of sensuality, because sensuality is about awakening our senses up to the moment. Sensuality is not always sexual, right? It can be sensuality, it can just be putting your favorite hoodie on, lighting up some incense, or listening to music that is uplifting for your vibe, you know. Sensuality is simply about living in our senses. So to me, it's a grounding practice. And to be honest, I guess that the Taurus people in my life, you guys were my teachers for when it came to that. So shout out to you. But yeah, there is this feeling of numbness here. I'm receiving news of fun coming back to you soon, pile 4. And like, this sounds so basic and simple, so I don't feel like I'm doing this message justice, but I see the arrival of a new hobby that you can enjoy, and that is going to fuel you with passion for yourself and for your future. And this could also come in the form of people, for some of you, that you can just enjoy yourself with, or go back into becoming a kid with again, and not take yourself too seriously with. But yeah, your guys just whispered at me right now, and they just wanted me to really deliver this message to you, that there is a lot more fun coming soon for you. It won't be all about work or all about that healing, but you are also attracting towards you your intent for a lot more exciting things to do and to look forward to in your future. So whether that's a project or hobbies that you can feel high about, or new friends that get you and can offer you a sense of home, whether that's having more time to be dedicated to a goal that you had. I just feel that so strongly. Because lately you have been feeling as though it is difficult to find happiness here in this life, or you have been desperately wanting to feel something back again, anything. If you have been feeling like your life is just going through that motion, like life is passing you by so quickly and you don't even have the time to slow down to really savor it, and you have difficulty breaking out of this loop, to just enjoy yourself more, get out of your routine more, and meet new people and new opportunities, then the universe and your higher self have registered that prayer, and they are working with your environment right now, is what I keep feeling. So you just want to be happy again, is what I feel, or you just want to find that feeling that you feel you should be supposed to feel. It's like your happiness is blocked. You guys want to feel something again. You want your heart and emotions to be moved again. This one feels deeper than that. I just want to take a look at your tarot cards, you guys, before I dig into one direction, but then your tarot cards lead me elsewhere. So let's see what's the blockage here. So we have the Moon. And the next card that we have is the Four of Wands reversed, followed by the Chariot reversed, and then we have the Hangman, and the last card is the Ace of Cups. Yeah, so okay, there is this feeling of your life having gone stagnant with the Chariot reverse and the Hangman, but there is also this feeling of a place in your life feeling empty with this Moon and Four of Wands reverse. And I'm seeing that because the Four of Wands is literally that happy place. It's the place in your life that makes you feel at home, like you have somewhere to go back to, that makes you feel fulfilled. It's that place that makes you feel like you have found a foundation to grow upon. So this card being reversed is giving me the sense of having lost that, or of not being able to find this happy place or happy foundation to grow your roots in. And with the Chariot reverse, this is searching for that feeling that you want to be able to feel at this place that is empty with the Ace of Cups, because the Ace of Cups is so profound to me, because it speaks of that moment where your heart is in it. Your heart is invested into it. So to me, this feels like the search for that emotional fulfillment that you want to have, and you see other people around you having maybe. So the search for that one thing that will fill up your cup. That Ace of Cups is finding that well of fulfillment and peace that is basically, that is just for you. That's as best as I can explain it. So this is nuts, because Pile 1 and Pile 2 in this reading felt linked together, almost like they were a continuity of each other. And I would say the same for Pile 3 and Pile 4. I feel like you would really benefit from from both of these piles, because this one has a similar message, but I feel like with you, pile 4, it's deep, deep, deep. Like, it's not only targeting a sphere of your life, but it's just everywhere you could feel that. I feel like this is about creating that harmonious relationship with yourself and with your life, but there is interference here. And to me, this interference feels like having no direction, no purpose, no solid ground to walk upon with this Four of Wands reversed and Moon card here. Just being this sort of floater, right? With a hangman, waiting for this chapter of your life to be over or to pass you by while nothing is happening or while it all feels empty. I just want to also say, and you know, I'm really not against any of that, by the way. I like a drink myself once in a while, but if your drinking intake has increased, or if you smoke or take mind-altering drugs of any kind, this could be why I keep feeling that numbness. And, oh, okay, so some of you started a medication for your mental health, right? For some of you, that's your medication that does that. And don't stop it without the advice of your psychiatrist or therapist, all right? I'm really not someone that is anti-drugs. I do feel like we need balance, like modern medicine can be complementary to alternative medicine and vice versa. And you should always use your intuition as well, because I feel that, yes, people can see what is happening inside your body with the right technology and all of that, right? But people do not feel into your body like you do. And just like we choose our hairdresser, I feel like we need to choose our psychiatrists and therapists. Absolutely. So don't be afraid to say it if you feel like there are certain side effects that feel wrong for you, pile 4. That message is just for literally a few of you. And I'm not a specialist here, but I just feel like a dosage or a switch of medicine could really help you if you talk about it, because I know that feeling, I had it before when I was on medication myself when I was younger. Besides, if the medicine was prescribed to you, I would be really careful about trying to self-medicate in any way, pile 4, because this could contribute to the extended feeling of having your energy being taken out of you. It could also numb your connection to where you are alive, breathing, and existing, but not truly living. I also want to say that there's maybe this place in your life that you kept chasing with this Four of Wands reverse and Chariot reverse, maybe thinking that once you would get there or to a certain point in your life, you would finally be able to be at peace or to be content or to be fulfilled, only to reach that place and find a hangman moment. Like, this is not making me feel like how I thought it will make me feel. So what am I doing here? Do I surrender with a hangman, or do I move with a Chariot reverse? So it's like, now that you are here or have that or have arrived at that place you always wanted to be at, it's like there is nothing to look forward to anymore. It's like it became mundane. And I feel that this is why this 5th house energy was trying to liven you back up in your reading. So pile 4, just know that there is no finish line. There is no finish line with this Chariot reverse. And that's the illusion that you just smashed through in your life. So no, this is not a blockage. You just actually woken up. So you woken up to the fact that your life was not meant to be as linear, as predictable, as stable. You woken up to the fact that you are a multidimensional, deeply feeling individual that is complex, that is a complex human being with complex emotional needs. So no, you're not a failure, and no, you're not at the wrong place, but you need to let yourself consult your heart right now with this Ace of Cups here and reconnect. That's what you need to do. And it's so interesting because I've heard someone say a few weeks ago that passion happens when our mind agree with our hearts. And I found that so interesting because it got me thinking. That's why it's so important to become a master of our own mind, right? And learn how to direct our thoughts. I feel like this could explain why passion is so hard to keep. You can have it one day and then lose it the next. And I feel that this is because us humans, we allow our life to be driven by our thoughts. Or we sometimes invest in the wrong feelings because, you know, not all feelings are worth our time either. And I feel that when we slip into our head over a heart type of situation, our heart over a head, we can easily steal the passion away from what we are trying to connect to. And when our heart and mind are disconnected from each other, that's when we feel that disconnection with everything and everyone around us. And it's like no matter what people do, they can't change that feeling. But it's not about those people or what is happening on the outside, because the root cause is about how you may feel disconnected from yourself on the inside when it does that. So let's see your oracle cards, you guys, and see how you may reconnect. We have here the card of transformation. We have last quarter moon in Capricorn, and it says, leave the past behind. Ooh, I'm getting so much from this card. We're gonna go deeper, you guys. Gonna go deeper. Then we have first quarter moon in Taurus, release control. Okay, so this feeling of numbness feels attached to a past you cannot let go of, or release, it seems. And your highest self is so ready to outgrow this and to move forward. But it's like you could still feel stuck on that unresolved feeling that this past haven't left you dealing with. It's almost like a depression. And I'm not, I'm not labeling anybody here. I'm not, throwing labels or diagnosis here. But pile 4, you need to put yourself in the sunlight again. I feel like this is a less is more type of crisis that you are experiencing in your life right now, where it's about letting yourself have those really small pleasures as they come, and to not steal that pleasure away from yourself when you can have a bite of it. Do you tend to rob yourself of happiness, Balfour? That's what I'm talking about. If you try to pull your attention away from those happy moments with what you should rather do or places you should rather be, this is like stealing yourself of that sunlight again each time. If you spend a lot of time anticipating this beautiful moment you're going through as already being past, as already being a memory of yours, to where you feel like you're grieving that memory while you are still currently in it, you need to catch yourself when you do that and bring yourself back in the moment. If you spend a lot of time inside of your home, or keep your home a bit dark with this 4 of Wands reverse, then also open the curtains and open the windows and let yourself have your morning coffee outside or something like that. That's better than a phone screen, because something feels like it's gone too dark in your life, and you feel you need to let that 5th house energy enter where it tries to meet you naturally. So I don't believe in toxic positivity, you guys. Myself, having struggled with depression a big part of my life, I don't believe in yoga and positive affirmations being the cure. I feel like these things, though, are only board to construct that floor you will walk upon. And they are only a way to do the inner work, but it's not the only way. And I don't believe in them being the happy pill. And I don't think that trying to force yourself to be positive when you're down the deepest pit in your life is a healthy thing either. I feel like it's denial. I feel like this life, in order to be fulfilling, there needs to be this depth. There needs to be death, transformation, discomfort, crisis, changes, losses. But I also do believe that when we spend so much time in the dark, so much time in that cocoon of transformation here, like the moth, right? I find it interesting that this is a moth here, right? It's like you're that creature of the night, having gone in the dark for so long, being transformed by this darkness here. So I feel like when we spend so much time in the dark, or too much time in the darkness of life, it can be like a whole readaptation to learn how to place ourselves into the light again. Kind of like someone that has an accident and needs to relearn how to walk, right? It's the same when we spend so much time in the depression or so much time in the dark side of life. When we've been in a process of healing, releasing, an active transformation for so long. When we've been in the dark for so long, life can easily become a burden and easily become a very heavy one too. It becomes a tremendous amount of effort to do anything to try to go out of this cocoon and become the moth. Try to place a plant in the dark for an extended amount of time, right? And probabilities are it will probably lose its nutrients and die. And that's the same for us. When we have been in the dark for too long, learning to be happy again can be a deprogramming and relearning process, like a rehab, legit. And I'm not kidding, that's how it felt like to me. Especially since I had lived the majority of my life in that darkness. At some point, there was a point where I thought to myself, wow, so this is who I am now. This is how my life is going to be. But it's not true, Balfour. This is a part of the rehab process to feel this way. And I know that sometimes, especially if some of you guys work in a self-help, healing, or first responder or spiritual field like I do, where you accompany people through the toughest periods of their life, well, I feel like we can all become so seriously absorbed in the importance of our life's mission sometimes. And you know, whether we are a tarot reader, a doctor, a nurse, a politician, a cook, you know, an accountant, whatever our mission in life is, I think that sometimes we can so seriously enmesh with the purpose that this mission brings, that we can sometimes forget how to live outside of that, outside of this service. I know that it sounds funny, but this also happened to me last year. Actually, I made so much sacrifices for my mission, you guys, to the point where I was consumed in the being of service and forgetting about the being part of my life. I was robbing myself of pleasure, joy, excitement, of time just doing random stuff just for me. You know, like you, I am human, you know? So I would really forget to give myself some grace. That's why I feel it is so important for you and I, Balfour, because that's also a message for me here, that we don't forget to incorporate more pleasure in our lives, as well as connection, you know, connection with our pets, connection with the people in our life that are there. And I set that intention for you and for myself. I feel that this infinite well of joy and excitement with this Ace of Cups is part of your legacy here, alongside the big mission you came to invest your heart into. And I feel like it's something that we all forget once in a while, that it's not life's work to constantly make that pleasure happen to us, but to not forget that we can also be that generator, that cultivator of that pleasure if we decide to not always wait for life to surprise us and fulfill us, but to rather let ourselves become the gardener of it. This is why, you know, this is why yoga, physical exercise, good relationships, meditation, creativity, intention, magic, positive affirmations, name it, things like that, won't ever be a solution unto its own, but it's rather a brick to the foundation that you're building, right? It's like brick by brick, you are creating this home. It's a step forward in that rehab process to living again. And so you deserve that, to have that light when it shows up and when you have the opportunity to capture it. Don't feel guilty or silly for wanting to take that light, even if you don't feel in the full position to enjoy it sometimes, because you deserve that light and you deserve happiness for your service here, Balfour, for all of the work you are doing, whether your mission is in your career, whether your mission is to raise your children, whether your mission is to take care of a family member that is not doing well, or a friend that is not doing well, whatever it is. For all of the work that you're doing, this is compensation for the times you need to take your life more seriously too. And yes, people have their own tragedies in their life, but you also have to take care of yourself. You have to not let your own tragedies turn you cold and numb, which is a big work unto its own. It takes a lot of work and effort to go out of this cocoon here and to transform our tragedies and to not let that hardship turn us cynical, especially when on the inside, we're actually that fifth house energy, right? When on the inside, we crave meaning and believing in the good of something. So I see you relearning here how to walk back into pleasure in your reading. And it's a process, okay? So you're not blocked or stuck. You are just in this process, Balfour, which is not linear, which is a bumpy ride filled with slumps, jumps, and holes, like this chariot reverse indicates. That road has turns and twists, and how you release your blockage is through surrender with the hangman. Surrendering and accepting this road that you're traversing that is not a one-dimensional path. That is not a one solution fits all. You need to accept that the road to living more is rich and full like that. I see you emerging from this moon period of your life, right? This very dark period of your life. I see you emerging from that with this butterfly here. This card is just resuming everything. It's so crazy. It has so much to say to me, but yeah, I see you in a process of, releasing yourself of that old skin shedding, right? And it's so tedious. It's so consuming of energy, right? And it's a step-by-step relearning how to dip your toes into it, to place yourself back into the light again. And so, of course, sometimes it will feel awkward. Sometimes there will be some step back. Sometimes it will feel like you have to force yourself into it, but you go at your own pace, Balfour. Okay, the longer we've been in the dark, the longer that process can feel sometimes. But in order for you to not just thrive in this life and in this existence, but also survive through the whole journey of it, which I set the intention that this is going to be a long, healthy, and happy life for you. You need a whole lot of equilibrium in between the good and the bad, and between purpose and pleasure. And that's what I send towards you. And sometimes pleasure and purpose is going to intertwine together and it's going to be okay. But other times it will be very important as well that these two things, that these two areas of your life remain separated. And I feel that this is where you are at in your journey. You're learning to balance that. You're learning to accept that when it's time to be joyful, carefree, and lighthearted, that you allow yourself that moment without guilt and without shame. So you're learning to welcome it without resisting it and to truly be yourself, be immersed in that joy, in that peace. But it's a process. And I know that this sounds ironic, but us humans, we can truly resist not only the bad things in life, but also the great things, especially when we are not used to them. So it's a reprogramming process, right? And whether you believe in miracles yet or don't, that's what I'm wishing for you, Balfour. I wish you that joy and pleasure and the strength to live in that truth. And I would love if you could leave a message of hope to your fellow Balfours down below in the comments if you have some piece of guidance or wisdom of your own, because I feel like we can all truly learn from each other. And I want to thank you so much for having spent this time with me, Balfour. For those of you who are wondering, yes, I do offer personal online readings. So you guys can check out my store in the description box below if you are curious to check it out. And otherwise, subscribe to the channel because I would love you to benefit from the next pick a card if you enjoyed this one. And I hope to see you soon in the next video. Bye, you guys.